Welcome to a special journey, where we will uncover the mysteries of life through profound and meaningful philosophies of life. Perhaps there are many times when you feel that life is too short to pursue frivolous things. Life is full of sweetness, bitterness, and resentment. But don't take the matter of gain and loss, winning and losing too seriously. From letting go, forgiveness to the power of silence, all contain valuable lessons to help us overcome suffering and find peace of mind. When we let ourselves get caught up in the vortex of winning and losing, of endless desires, that is when we lose the peace of mind. Gain and loss are just two sides of the same coin. They can come and go at any time. What matters is whether your heart is ready to let go or not. There are people who spend their whole lives fighting for a high position in society, only to end up with loneliness and regret. Instead, spend time on the little things that bring true joy, like a family meal, a moment of meditation to calm your mind. When we don't focus on winning or losing, we will find life easier. An old monk once taught, "Life is not a never-ending battle to achieve more than others, but a journey to understand yourself." The monk told the story of a rich man who gave up all his possessions to find the meaning of life, finally realizing that happiness lies not in possession, but in letting go. Karma is not something far away, but a natural law that governs all our actions, words, and thoughts. When you sow good seeds, you will reap good fruits, and vice versa. This is not a threat, but the fair law of the universe. Professor Kwan, a talented man, but because of an angry action towards a mute child, had to suffer heavy karma when his 3 daughters were born mute. Every time he saw his children, he remembered the resentful eyes of the child in the past. It was a reminder that every action we take leaves a mark on this life. Modern life often makes us forget this simple thing. Sometimes, just a small act of sympathy can bring about great changes. Live sincerely and kindly, so that when we look back, we will not have to regret what we have caused. Silence is golden. This saying has never lost its value. In a world full of noise and meaningless arguments, silence is not weakness, but a way to protect yourself and find peace from the depths of your soul. There are times when silence is the strongest answer. A woman who could not control herself talked so much that no one wanted to interact with her. When she realized this, she chose to live silently, only speaking when it was really necessary. Strangely, from then on, her life became peaceful, and people began to respect her more. Silence is not avoidance, but a way to focus on what is really important. When you are silent, you listen to your heart and avoid useless arguments. Sometimes just taking a step back will help you see the big picture of life more clearly. Forgiveness does not mean agreeing with injustice or ignoring mistakes, but is a way for us to free ourselves from the suffering of the past. When resentment is let go, our mind will be lighter and more peaceful. There was a Zen master who was betrayed by the person he had wholeheartedly helped. Instead of harboring resentment, he chose to practice, let go of everything to find peace of mind. His actions not only freed him, but also awakened the other person, making them feel remorseful and seek a path of reform. We often bind ourselves with painful memories and then lose the present moment. Don't let the past control you. Forgiveness is the way to take back control of your life, finding peace in life. We go through a lot of ups and downs in the first half of our lives, failures, unfulfilled dreams, and both desires and doubts. But at some point, the question becomes clearer. What really matters? Perhaps the important thing is not how much wealth you have or how much success you have achieved, but whether you are at peace. After all, isn't everyone's ultimate goal happiness? And what is happiness if not a feeling of inner peace? letting go to find peace. The story of Sidney Harris, a famous journalist, is a clear demonstration of this. When he bought a newspaper from a rude vendor, instead of getting angry, Harris remained polite and calm. His companion wondered, "Why are you polite to such a person?" He replied, "Why should I let his attitude determine my behavior?" Here is the big lesson. Never let your emotions be controlled by others. Letting go of unnecessary judgments and comments will help us feel much lighter. You may meet many people who hurt you, but forgiving and forgetting is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Life becomes easier when we learn to accept that not everything needs to be perfect. Failure is not the end in life. Failure is inevitable. But do you realize that failures are opportunities to grow? A friend of mine once pursued his dream of becoming a lecturer in the US. He passed many rounds of interviews, but was ultimately rejected by the school of his dreams. He was devastated and wanted to give up, but then realized that he did not really understand what the school needed. After adjusting his approach, he succeeded at another school. Life is not always easy, and failure is not failure if you learn something from it. Remember that falls are just tests of your patience. Success is not about never falling, but how many times you get up after each fall. Live with a simple and grateful mind. Simple things often bring the most happiness. Imagine a peaceful morning. You sit in the garden drinking tea and enjoying the gentle breeze. Happiness does not lie in luxury, but in the ability to enjoy the little things. One of my favorite stories is about Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. He once taught, "Live like a child, simple and carefree." That does not mean we become carefree, but learn to not complicate life. Enjoy each moment as if it were a precious gift. Forgiveness, the key to freedom. Forgiveness is not only liberating others, but also liberating yourself. There is a story about a father who was grieving over the loss of his son. He was overwhelmed with regret, unable to overcome the pain, until his son pretended to be crazy and asked his father, "Why would you expect a dead cow to eat grass?" Only then did he realize that he needed to let go and move on. Don't let the past haunt you forever. Forgiveness is not accepting your mistakes, but allowing yourself to move forward. Live in the present and love yourself. There is a child inside each of us, the dreamy and fragile part. Sometimes we forget that and treat ourselves too harshly. But remember, loving yourself is the first step to loving others. A friend of mine once said, "We cannot fill someone else's glass when our own is empty." This reminds us that taking care of ourselves is not selfish, but the foundation for bringing happiness to those around us. The second half of life is not the end, but a new chapter of life. Slow down, let go of what is not important, and focus on what brings peace. Learn to meditate every day to keep your mind calm. Write an emotional diary to realize what makes you grateful. Say thank you and sorry often. Enjoy every moment with family and friends. Life does not have to be perfect. You just need to feel peace in your soul. And when you find peace, that is when you have found true happiness. Life is a never-ending journey, with moments of joy and sadness. In today's world, where everything is constantly moving, meditation is a way to find peace of mind. Meditation helps you realize that everything comes and goes. Nothing lasts forever. Emotions like anger, anxiety, or fear are just temporary states. There was a monk who practiced on a high mountain far away from the world to seek enlightenment. After many years of meditation, he realized that there is no need to run away from the world to find peace. In fact, meditation is living fully in the present, facing all challenges with a peaceful mind. Life is not only about our own existence, but also about connecting with everyone around us. Compassion helps us open our hearts, understand and sympathize with the suffering of others. When you give kindness, you will receive more than you think. There is a person who always does good deeds, but never expects anything in return. His life is not rich in material things, but his soul is always peaceful. One day he met a person he had saved in the past, who is now successful. This person decided to help him build a charity center to continue spreading kindness. Compassion not only helps others, but also helps you. Every time you do good, your soul will feel lighter. Let compassion be the compass in life, leading you to the best things. Life is full of ups and downs, but you have the right to choose how you face it. Live sincerely, forgive, let go of what is unnecessary, and find peace from simple things. Don't forget that true happiness comes from within. When you are at peace, everything around you will also become better. Thank you for following this journey. Hopefully, the stories and philosophies above will bring you moments of calm and meaning to live a more fulfilling life. We often confine ourselves to unnecessary thoughts and emotions, which leads to constant pressure and stress. In fact, most of our suffering comes from clinging to the past or worrying too much about the future. When you learn to let go, your mind will be much lighter. A Zen master once told of two monks who were crossing a river. They met a girl who could not cross the strong current. One monk decided to help the girl by carrying her across the river. After crossing the river, the girl thanked him and left. The other monk who was with him felt upset because his friend had broken his precept by interacting with women. He kept this discomfort all the way until he could no longer bear it and said to his friend, "How could you break the rules like that?" The Zen master replied, "I put that girl down a long time ago, and you are still carrying her." In life, we tend to hold on to resentments and unnecessary sadness. Let go of everything that doesn't make you happy. When you let go, you will find freedom in your soul. Everyone has a passion or a mission in life. It could be work, family, or an ideal. When you live with passion and find meaning in what you do, everything becomes easier. Even if it's difficult, you are willing to face it because it's what you love. A potter had a special talent, but because of a difficult life, he had to do other jobs to make a living. After many years, he decided to return to pottery, despite the low income. The miracle is, when he lived true to his passion, he not only felt happier, but also found recognition and success. Life is too short to live for things that don't really matter. Don't waste your time on things that don't bring you joy. Pursue your passion, and you will find life more meaningful than ever. Forgiveness is not about forgetting what happened, but about giving yourself the opportunity to move on without being held back by the past. Think of forgiveness as a gift you give yourself, a gift of peace and freedom. There was a woman who was betrayed by her husband. The pain weighed her down so much that she could not trust or open up to anyone. One day she met an old friend who advised her to let go and find peace for herself. Although it was difficult, she learned to forgive her ex-husband and felt much lighter in her soul. Forgiveness is a journey, not a decision made in a moment. It requires you to face the pain, but when you overcome it, you will find yourself stronger and freer. Life is like a long journey in which each day brings its own experiences and lessons. There are days when you will fail, but there are also days when you will win. The important thing is that you know how to learn from what you have experienced and continue to move forward. A boxer lost miserably in an important match. Everyone laughed at him and thought he would never be able to return to the ring. But he did not give up. Instead of complaining, he practiced harder, and finally, he came back with a glorious victory. He said, "Failure is just a lesson, not the end." Life is a series of challenges and opportunities. Don't let failures make you give up. See them as lessons to improve yourself and continue your journey. Happiness does not always come from big things or brilliant success. Sometimes it lies in the small things around you that you often ignore. A cup of coffee in the morning, a greeting from a loved one, or the sunset at the end of the day. A rich man but did not find joy in anything. One day, he met a poor farmer who was always smiling. When asked why, the farmer just smiled and said, "I'm happy because I appreciate what I have." From then on, the man began to change his perspective and felt happier. Happiness is not a destination, but a journey. Enjoy every moment and find joy in the smallest things. When you live each moment to the fullest, you will find that happiness is always around you. Thank you for accompanying me to the end of this journey. Life is a colorful picture, sometimes up and down, sometimes peaceful. But what is important is how you perceive and move forward. Hopefully, the stories and lessons here will help you find light in the dark moments and peace in your soul. Wishing you strength, peace, and happiness on the path you have chosen.